come on, man. And with the local DBC news, LL Cool J with the
Couri Thomas is.
Yes, sir.
Couri Thomas is the status quo.
Exactly.
You know, so tell us kind of here on Crime and Justice, what's some of the things that you envision, you know, if you can get the vote of the people to be able to become mayor?
My whole vision is about exactly what you said. I didn't see the status quo on our African-American leadership step up either.
Right.
And I'm not trying to, I don't blame any side. I'm all about community and growing our community that's going to be balanced and benefit everybody. I want to highlight some of the issues we have in our African-American communities or minorities as a whole. From a city standpoint, it's just been underdeveloped. That's why we don't have wealth in our community, because it's underdeveloped.
Right.
And the generations before has failed us in that. There's no family businesses that didn't pass down. There weren't anybody in the whole city going to Butternut and starting our own local bread factory, which was the heart of our community. So when you take the three things I think most African Americans or just everybody commonly take is faith, finances, and family, and not necessarily in that order.
Right.
If you take one of those three things away from somebody, then you're gonna have some problems.
Yeah.
And that's what we're starting to see is a lot of problems, because, like Obama said, he's the president of the nation, of everyone.
Right.
You have leadership that can take things out of context like Black Lives Matter and make that an issue of taking the contents of what that means, and you're making the decisions of that. Or if you can take some Twittergate ideas and go raid somebody and abuse your power, and that's only a couple of years ago. I mean, 18 years in the city council, those are the decisions that's being made. So we need somebody that, I don't think the education was good when Marcus Garvey started being a proactive person, or Martin Luther. Everybody know he was a very well-spoken, educated man. Malcolm X, Miss Rose, and every African, Emmett Till, all these people were martyrs. You know, they were taking a blow for us, and that's what God does. God takes that least likely person, the one that everybody overlooks, and He'll find that one to be the next David or Abraham or Isaac, Jacob.
Right.
That's what God does. So
that's important. I was thinking, a lot of people that hadn't heard of Couri Thomas, that didn't know Couri Thomas. Tell us a little about Couri Thomas. I know you're from Peoria originally.
Born and raised. 1977, born and raised. I'm 39. My dad is a pastor. My granddad was a pastor. My aunts and uncles were active in the church, Sunday school teachers and deacons. I have uncles that's on my mother's side that's pastors. My mom is a first lady now, with my stepdad being a pastor.
Right.
So I've been raised around all the pastors that's been here more than 30 years, all having an influence on my life.
So you got a good relationship with the spiritual base here in Peoria. A lot of the pastors, you'll be able to pull them together and make some things happen. Huh?
Yep. And I'd say that now is that since I was raised with them, I think the spiritual moral compass that an individual can have is the best thing you should have when you come to this position of leadership in City Hall, simply because you're going to be convicted when you make a wrong decision.
That's right.
Or a biased decision, or you're not going to be convicted and you're going to keep going with the status quo. And that's the problem. Our government is our church.
Right.
Our pillar of our community has always been our church ever since we've been in this nation.
Yeah.
And we have to come together like we do every Sunday and start being a voice in our city. We can't sit here and complain about things. We don't want to change it ourselves, within ourselves, or you won't put the powers to be in a place and vote.
Yeah.
Look at somebody, oh, well, you'll win, because I don't have to vote. I just know you'll win.
Right.
Keep it in God's hands.
You said something important.
There's nothing about it that I take lightly, about none of this whole move going into accepting this as a challenge in my personal life. I know it's when you put a person in a rock and a hard place, you don't have much to where to go. So I'm serving the community now. I work with the food bank now, and I do what I do there. And you know, I can go back there if this doesn't work,
Yeah.
but I also can take it to a whole nother level if it does work.
That's right.
You know, we can show the city how not to be biased, how to forgive and forget, and not to be discriminating on any level of governance or how our city is. Our city would be a lot better if we valued one another's community, cultures, and just built around that.
Wow.
I don't want to see somebody poor here. I'll pick up the slack myself because I can. I got a little privilege to do it.
All right, my brother.
Just to have some retail sales going
Yeah.
on. Every area should have some type of wealth so it can relieve that stress. Taxes or crime or paranoia, all that stuff. I mean, it's just not good for a city to stay stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do we want to see our city grow? Do we want to see some of the finer things in our downtown area?
Right.
Do we want to have successful businessmen and women that's born and raised here?
That's right.
You know, do well and attract wealth and people because we've stood together. You know, that's the problem, is too much division in our churches, too much division in our community, too much division in our schools. And we have all those resources, our organizations and our community centers, all that stuff has a lot of division. Everybody want to build something and say, I've done it.
Right.
I don't care about no I. You know, I know you taught that a lot. There is no I in team.
That's right.
You just have some good players everywhere. You got somebody that's going to be good at rebounding, the 3-point shot,
Right.
the free throws.
Play your
all
part.
that. Play your part. That's all it's about in our community. It's just sad that we don't take advantage of all the resources we have in our community.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I could talk to Couri all night, but unfortunately we got about 3 or 4 other news crews waiting to talk to Couri, and I got to talk to the man. He spoke to us from his heart, and this was very important because I knew before I met you that you had a lot of heart in order to run for this office. So, you know,
Appreciate it.
I just wanted my people here at Crime and Justice to get to meet you and get to know you, and then we did, and I thank you so much. Couri Thomas, you guys, keep up the great work, Keith.
Right, Coach.
Yeah. That was great.